Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to check out Algorand's price chart. And if you remember, in the previous video we were right around this high and I was saying this is a correction up most likely, and what are we going to do next? Probably we're going to get another move on the downside, but I'll be honest, I didn't really expect that our move down is going to be this deep. And now I'm not really identifying in here some optimistic signs. Point number one, this is now quite a strong move on the downside, which is kind of unlike a characteristic of a corrective movement. So this is definitely not good. Point number two, in here, as you can see, now we are clearly having overlapping of the waves between this move and also this one. Why is this so important? You see, in the previous videos, let's go on maybe like 30-minute time frame, we are having in here maybe starting from the lowest low, if you are optimistic, a 1 ABC running flat into wave 2, another move up into wave 3, and this might be a correction for 4, and then we are going to have another move up into wave 5. Now, given the fact that now we are having overlapping of the waves between our supposedly wave 4 and 2, can we still consider this possibility? Well, the answer is complicated, and yes and no. And here is what I have to say. Before that, let's go around here. You see, if you want to argue, we're going to have our final low around here. Let's say this is like a very important support. Then, okay, off of the lowest low, you need to be able to find a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. And this thing right in here is a 5 wave impulsive structure. Rules for it are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4 and in any kind of 5 wave. Wave 3 right in here should not be the smallest wave. And we can have other kinds of 5 waves, and this one is called a wedge structure, and it looks like this. This is wave 1, correction for 2, another move up into wave 3. It must be smaller than wave 1, correction for 4, it's going to be smaller than wave 2, and unlike an impulse, in here we must have overlapping of the waves, and this is our final move up into wave 5, and it must be the smallest wave in this structure. Now, in another scenario, we can have an expanding leading diagonal, and in it, this is our wave 1, and unlike this thing, it's actually this time the smallest wave. Correction for 2, big move up into wave 3, it must be bigger than 1. Correction for 4, it's going to be bigger than wave 2, and in here, once more, I'm going to say it, we must have overlapping of the waves, and this is our final move up into wave 5, which has to be the biggest wave. And if you want to say in Algorand we are having a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think you need to consider this possibility, but we need to change some waves a bit. Why? Because for our wave 2 and 4, we must have, in case of some sort of a diagonal, an A, B, C in form of a zigzag, but this is an A, B, C running flat. So what should we do? I think we need to say maybe this is a correction for wave B to about this point, and then another move down into our C leg, and this can be the end of our wave 2, followed by that like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up into wave 3. And sure, you can say according to this scenario, maybe this is a correction for 4, and soon we're gonna have another move up into wave 5. Question, can we have other possibilities? The answer is yes, but that one suggests maybe we're not having a 1, 2, 3, 4 in here. Instead, maybe this is going to be a series of 1, 2s. Maybe this is 1, correction for 2, and then wave 3, 4, 5, which is going to be into a larger degree, wave 3, correction for 4, another move up into wave 5. So far in here, we identified 2 potential bullish scenarios. But why did I say at the beginning of the video, I'm not really seeing a lot of good signs in the short term? Because whenever you have to change your scenario, your bullish one, from a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to either a diagonal or maybe a series of 1, 2s. Generally, whenever you have to change your scenario from a normal 5 wave, that's not going to be good, and it shows that you are trying to be flexible with the chart. And I'm not going to say force a bullish structure on it, but kind of at least try to find some sort of a bullish possibility in here. This is, from my point of view at least, not an optimistic sign. Now, can we have a bearish scenario? The answer is yes, and in the interest of being objective, we are going to check that possibility also. So in that case, I'm gonna say this is actually an ABC running flat, and this is a 5-wave impulsive structure up to about this point, and well, on a higher degree, maybe this is an ABC zigzag starting from the lowest low, suggesting in Algorand our final low is probably not in yet, and we are going to have a move down maybe soon in order to take the lowest low around, let's say, like the 15 cents area, and maybe even we are going to go a bit lower than that. That can be also a possibility. However, at the moment, it's not confirmed that we're gonna have this bearish scenario. When can we say with a bit more confidence maybe something like this is happening? When we get a continuation of this move down, maybe from here or maybe like just a bit higher, not important. Generally, before we take this high, we have a move down in order to take this important low about, let's say, 17.7 cents. Why? Because at that point, finding an impulse starting from here and ending to about this high is going to be extremely challenging. And don't get me wrong, it is possible to find a 5-way, but the shape of it is going to look so odd to a degree that it's going to make me say, you know what, that's not going to be my primary case. I'm going to be much more comfortable considering this a C in form of a zigzag, indicating the final low most likely is not in yet. Now, what about classic technical analysis, meaning supports and resistances? Do we have something to say in that area in the short term? The answer is yes, but those things may not be necessarily good. You see, for example, in H4 time frame, sure, we do have a very important support area, but unfortunately it's under this low, somewhere around 16.5 to about the 17 cents area right in here. And if we are going to have a continuation of the move down and get to this support, okay, at that point most of the damage is going to be done already, and well, we need to be a bit careful and not consider the bullish possibility as our primary case at that point. Now, in daily time frame, I guess we can identify kind of a support area right around the 19 to 19.5 cents region right in here, and as you can see at the moment we are around it. So if we see a very strong 1 2 3 4 5 without a lot of overlapping of the waves, fair enough, at that point I can change my tone a bit. But from my point of view, this is not really that much of a strong support, and that's why I think we need to be right now a little bit careful and consider maybe some more moves down in Algorand. Now, when you go on some high time frames, the news is not necessarily optimistic. Why is that? You see, this red zone, in case that you are a new viewer, is a cluster of support areas, mostly from weekly chart, but at the same time, we do have some important supports in here from daily time frame as well. Now, right in here, I was saying this is not broken yet. Why? Because if you want to consider this thing as broken, you need to see an initial move in order to go under the region, followed by that a pullback and then a continuation of the move down. And we did have our initial move, but then we kind of failed to have a pullback and we went back above this level. However, this doesn't mean that in algo we are not going to break this thing. No, if we have another move down and in that move we actually take this one, okay, at that point the level is unfortunately going to be broken. Now, that doesn't mean that in algo we're gonna have at that point like some sharp moves on the downside. No, that just means when we hit our final low and we're going to get a bounce back, reclaiming this level is going to take some time, and maybe in this phase we are going to have an impulse, but then odds are after it we're going to get into a deep and kind of drawn out correction structure, and then we're going to have another move up and break this level. And as you can see, this phase in my opinion is going to take some time. So sure, we haven't still gotten a break of the level, but that doesn't mean that right in here we should be like 100% bullish. In fact, because we are hanging around this region way too much, I'm gonna be a little bit patient and also a little bit careful, because who knows, maybe we are going to break the support soon. So let's have a quick conclusion. In Algorand, as long as we are not taking this important low about 17.7 cents, I think we are allowed to remain optimistic. But I do not want you to ignore the fact that now we are having overlapping of the waves between this move and also this one, and this, in my opinion, is absolutely not an optimistic sign. It's just the fact that if you want to be bearish and you want to say the low is not in yet, you need to wait a little bit more and see a continuation of this downtrend in order to take this low. And at that point, fair enough, I'm probably going to join you as well and talk bearish with a little bit more confidence. But as long as we're not taking this thing, I think we can still kind of remain optimistic. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Algo's charts. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.